Live from WJXT. Channel 4 News at 5 starts now.
Some of you saw this in your yards. Hail. A new round of thunderstorms rolled through the region, causing scattered damage, including this tree knocked over onto a home. That toppled tree and others are in Clay County. We'll have a live report from there in a moment. But first, the rainy rush hour.
The beaches were the last spot in our area dealing with wet weather. As you look live through our beach cam, it's still gray out there, but there are people out on the beach. It looks like it's moving off our shore. Let's go to John Gahn to find out what we're in for next. John?
Tom, Mary, it's a pretty exciting afternoon when we see video like that. Challenging, too, with the tree down. Luckily, nobody hurt. But take a look what's been happening last couple of hours. The rain's coming through, one big wave of rain, and now we see the leftovers of the rains moving off the coast way down to the south of us in Flagler County. So a quick look at Duval County real quick just to illustrate that we're good. Sun's coming out. It's looking better, and it is likely to remain that way for us. Can't rule out a little pop-up shower. We'll track the potential of that here in a few moments, but here's where the action is at this hour, and it's just down here towards the Bunnell area and again down towards parts in Flagler Beach. So again, these showers and storms are particularly heavy but not severe, and they're heading on off towards the Marineland area and be there within the next 15 to 20 minutes. And again, very heavy downpours, lightning, thunder, small hail possibility in Flagler County as we wrap up those showers down to the south of us. Look at the big story here. A quieter night coming up for us again here this evening as we saw the big round of rain, but we still see rains out here into the Gulf of Mexico, and it is this area here that we'll watch move in our direction as cool air comes in at the same time. Add the two of them together, oh, not looking good for your Friday, folks. Here's how the forecast plays out. Evening rains will end soon, quiet night ahead, but here's Friday's forecast in just a few words. Mini nor'easter, cloudy, rain coming back. The good news is forecast model's getting better and brighter. Tom and Mary, if you got plans this weekend, it's not time to bag them yet. We got problems, but we got some solutions. I'll have that in the forecast here in just a few moments.
All right, thank you, John. And now to the local breaking news alert in Clay County where the storms have knocked down some trees.
One fell onto a home, another damaged a car. Channel 4's Ashley Harding is joining us now live from Gano Avenue in Orange Park where some trees are down. Ashley, has anyone been hurt?
Tom, thankfully, no one was hurt in this. I want to show you this right here. This is the house right here. We're told that there was a woman inside, and thankfully, she was not hurt. She's said to be safe. Now, just a few minutes ago, we saw some workers were on top of the roof trying to assess the damage, trying to figure out what's the best way to remove this tree. Now, I want to show you some video that we shot earlier, well, just a little while ago, actually. This is video of several crews out here working to restore power because some power lines were affected in this storm. I'm told at one point there were about 200 people without power. Now, emergency management says, again, crews are slowly bringing that power back. Again, the best part here is that no injuries were reported. I want to show you some different video now. This is of a tree that went through a car. Thankfully, no one was inside that car, and again, no one was hurt in this. We're told that thankfully tree limbs did not go through that house. Now, we did talk to one neighbor who saw the whole storm. He lives across from the woman where that tree went through the car. Let's take a listen to him.
Look out, and
I was actually standing on my back porch watching it, and wind was blowing water all the way over to where I was standing, so probably about 10, 15 feet. It was unique, nothing I want to see on a regular basis.
If anybody, as folks are coming home now and are realizing they have any damage, just call the 284-7703 number to public safety.
You take a look right here, just off of Gano Avenue. That's an American Red Cross truck with a worker there. We're told it's a possibility that the people who live at this house may need to be put up. The homeowner told us that chances are the tree is going to be removed tomorrow. Again, thankfully, this woman who was inside at the time was not hurt. Another thing emergency management wants people to know, if you do see a power line down, at no point are you to pick it up or touch it. You are asked to call 911, call emergency management. Absolutely do not try to handle it yourself. We're live tonight in Clay County. I'm Ashley Harding, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you. And now take a look at this. It's a traffic nightmare on the south side for much of the day. Now it's back to normal, but shortly before 11 this morning, this 4-car accident at the intersection of St. John's Bluff Road and Beach Boulevard. It started with a police pursuit. It ended with one woman dead and 3 others injured. Channel 4's Chris Parento is joining us live from the scene. Chris, you spoke with the victim's fiance?
Mary, I did, and he told me that he didn't want to go on camera for an interview, but shortly before the crash, he was actually on the phone with his sister, who was a passenger in the car that his fiance was driving. He was trying to convince his fiance to pull over. Shortly before the crash, JSO was pursuing that vehicle that his fiance was driving because of an outstanding warrant for the driver, but the pursuit was called off shortly before the crash happened. JSO says they were pursuing this car westbound on Beach Boulevard because they had a warrant for a violation of probation on drug charges on the driver, but because of traffic conditions, they stopped pursuing her. That's when the driver turned northbound on St. John's Bluff, then made a U-turn heading southbound.
When she went through the red light, multiple vehicles were struck. The driver of the vehicle that went through the red light is deceased.
The victim's fiance tells us that the child in the backseat of the car was his 9-month-old nephew. Police say he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Robert Crawford was driving this white pickup truck eastbound on Beach Boulevard through the intersection when he was hit.
I was just maybe 50 feet before the intersection when I got hit. I was already trying to stop when I saw the white car. I was just trying to avoid the accident, and I thought I was in the clear, and I felt the impact.
Because of the impact of the crash, this silver Cadillac SUV ended up at least 5 lanes away from where it was struck. Crawford is thankful that the impact to his car wasn't much worse.
Ended up where I'm at right there at the pole. Spun me around, but knocked me around a little bit, but I was wearing my seatbelt.
The damage to the Cadillac was so severe, the roof had to be cut off to get the driver out. But witnesses say the driver was alert at the scene. Traffic homicide investigators spent hours trying to figure out the position of each car before the crash and determine how fast the driver of the white Ford was going when she ran the red light.
The white car, yeah, it looked like it was going really fast, faster than the speed limit, I would say. I realized that it was going fast, and it was coming straight through the intersection.
As you would expect, with the entire intersection of Beach Boulevard at St. John's Bluff shut down, and all 3 eastbound lanes of Beach Boulevard shut down for about 3 hours around the lunch hour. It was quite a traffic mess in this nightmare, but about 2 o'clock, all lanes and all of this intersection reopened, and traffic is flowing smoothly right now. Live on the south side, I'm Chris Parento, Channel 4, the local station.
Chris, did police elaborate on why they stopped pursuing the vehicle?
Mary, they said that when they were pursuing that vehicle just past 9A heading westbound on Beach Boulevard, traffic was just too heavy in the area and it wasn't worth the risk because they had the address of where the woman lived, so they could follow up on the warrant that way rather than pursuing her into heavier traffic.
All right, Chris Parento reporting to us live on the south side. Thank you, Chris. An Atlantic Beach home badly damaged by a midday fire. It started around noon at a home on West Plaza Street near Lily Street. The homeowner tells us no one was home when the fire broke out, but her pets died in the fire. Crews from Jacksonville Fire Rescue and the Navy Fire Department helped put it out. Now the State Fire Marshal is investigating. Channel 4's Vic Michelucci will bring us more on what happened, all new at 6:30.
Was it gas or something else? That continues to be the question about a huge explosion that killed 2 prisoners and all but destroyed the Escambia County Jail in Pensacola. Right now, nearly all of the inmates and jail employees who were injured are out of the hospital. 184 people went to Pensacola area hospitals after the blast. 2 inmates and 1 corrections officer are still there. 1 inmate said other inmates reported smelling gas before the explosion. No word whether the record rains in Pensacola that flooded part of the jail are linked to the explosion. The jail was running on generator power last night because of the weather. All of Escambia County is cleaning up from the mess that the flooding brought on beginning Tuesday night.
Our news crews are on the scene for a second day now and are showing us more of the damage that prompted Governor Scott to declare a state of emergency in 26 counties. Channel 4's Kent Justice joins us live from Scenic Highway in Pensacola, near where part of the road is caved in. Kent.
And for that purpose, Mary, I want to show you that a lot of people have been coming to where the road is blocked there by FDOT on Scenic Highway, coming to see what they can. Beyond these trees, we've got the Gulf, and all you've got to do is look right over there. The road is gone. We're being very careful where we're coming to the edge here, but this is because of the flooding that happened, and the water that rushed through here took out the foundation for the highway, and the entire road collapsed right there. We're also hearing that beyond that, toward the Gulf in the water, is where the railroad was washed out as well. They had spent all day trying to repair that. We understand that's back up and running. They're going to have a lot of work yet to do here, not just to repair the road, but get trees out of the way and everything else. Very fortunate, I would say, that some of these utility lines didn't come out where the roadway washed out and where the ground is gone. It was kind of in between two utility poles. In the meantime, as we've been going through Pensacola, we've found so many families who say they are trying to recover and they just weren't prepared for the damage that a flood could do. You can still hear the water. Pensacola took it on the chin this week with varying amounts of rain totaling 2 feet. Well, much more than 2 feet of water ravaged this neighborhood, tearing apart the asphalt, drowning the vehicles on the roads, leaving them stranded.
As far as one-day devastation, it's pretty bad. I mean, Ivan obviously did more mass destruction, but in isolated areas, this is horrible.
Sure, yeah. You know, we knew we were going to get a lot of rain, but we've gotten a lot of rain a lot of times. And, you know, we had no idea that it was going to keep on to the point that it just flooded things like it had and like it did. So, yeah, it was an absolute surprise.
We even found stacks of undelivered newspapers throughout the neighborhood. That's because what you really need to know, you can see all around you. It's impossible to miss the devastation of this flood.
At any one time, there were 20 people out here with cameras, including news services and what have you, but there are a lot of individuals, and I guess they'd never seen anything like this. I wish I hadn't either.
Frank Silver owns the home you see here, and he lived through losing half his house as it fell into the flood. As Frank, his wife, and his daughter escaped, they found help recovering what they could, someone with a U-Haul and free labor, until the nerves got the best of them.
And they helped move some of the furniture out, and while they were there, part of the den floor just dropped off again. So they got a little scared at that time. Not that I wasn't.
Yes.
So, but we were able to get some stuff out.
And getting stuff out is what so many people are trying to do. We're back here live at Scenic Highway, and this is just amazing to me. You see the guardrail still stretches across there to the other side of the road, even while the road itself is gone. This is something that has really impacted so many people. You heard John talking in his forecast earlier. They're watching their mobile phones. They're looking at the weather on TV all the time, trying to find out, are we going to have more rain? Very worried about that. Live in Pensacola, Kent Justice, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Kent. A message to Governor Scott from AAA. They want him to look at some traffic death statistics that they hope will persuade him to veto higher speed limits. A look at those numbers just ahead.
And Project 4, firearms in Florida. Why this man tells Channel 4 he never should have been allowed to own a gun. Next.
Project 4 Firearms in Florida continues right now. In the past year, 21 states have passed laws expanding the rights of gun owners, according to the Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence.
Some ridicule the burst of pro-gun legislation, citing several recent mass shootings across the country. They say far too often the mentally unstable are getting their hands on guns.
Channel 4's Haley Winslow spoke with some of those people, including one man who consoles survivors of gun violence. He admits he personally never should have been allowed to own a gun.
Carl Harms was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in 2005 after he lost his mom. 2 years later, 2 drunk drivers killed his dad. The PTSD intensified and Harms fell into a very dark place.
I'll just black out and then found in parking lots, laid out in the parking lot, and then I'd wake up in the hospital.
As 2 more years went by, Harms says he grew paranoid, afraid to even leave the house. One day he did go out to buy a gun.
There was a lot of things that went through. Never taking someone else's life, but definitely thinking about taking my own. And I never should have been issued a permit.
Harms was amazed by how easy it was to get a concealed weapons permit in Jacksonville, especially when suffering from PTSD. The Department of Agriculture, which issues licenses, does not conduct a mental health evaluation. It only asks if you've ever been adjudicated incapacitated, mentally defective, or committed to a mental health institution. Harms says he did not meet that specific criteria, so he checked no and was well on his way to having a permit to carry a weapon.
You take this little questionnaire, and then you go into a back room, you take the gun, you show them that you can handle it, you point it down into a bucket, you shoot one round off, and you get your certification. The state basically voluntarily gave me the means to take care of what my thoughts were.
Fortunately, someone stepped in and saved his life. Ryan Backman, who was struggling through his own nightmare. Months before, a man still unknown robbed, shot, and killed his dad on the south side while he was vacuuming an office building. Cliff Backman was trying to earn a little extra money to support his wife fighting stage 4 breast cancer. After a year of no leads and few answers, Ryan left his job and made it his mission to help other survivors, including Harms. They became best friends, both joining compassionate families as victim advocates.
That's who I represent, the victims' families.
Jordan Davis's dad recognized the nonprofit's efforts during last month's National Crime Victims' Rights Week, which shed light on homicide victims and survivors.
At what point did we decide that shooting somebody was an acceptable resolution to a dispute? If George Zimmerman didn't have a gun, would he have gotten out of the car that night? If Michael Dunn didn't have a gun, would he have, said a word to a SUV full of teenagers? That's where we are. It gives an inflated sense of self, importance, and invincibility.
Ryan Backman, Carl Harms, and Ron Davis share the same stance on guns.
It's a dangerous weapon, but it's only dangerous in the wrong hands.
That was Haley Winslow reporting. All 3 men say improved measures are needed to protect the public because they say you never know what's going on in the mind of a person holding a gun. Project 4 Firearms in Florida will continue at 5:30 with safety, a look at the many options available to gun owners. Channel 4's Joy Purdy will show you steps you can take to keep your family safe regardless of your family budget. Plus, how you can get a free gun lock for yourself after watching our story. And we invite you to join the firearms conversation going on right now. You're looking live at our Twitter chat going on at this moment. We're feeding it to news4jax.com. We want to hear from you. Use hashtag Florida Firearms.
Always watching, always tracking. Channel 4 is the weather authority.
All right, now the new pattern has been, ooh, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Storms roll in. By the time we get 7, 8 o'clock, everything starts to clear on out. But tomorrow's going to be the one final, hopefully, weird day. But here, let's get back to what we've been dealing with. Well, afternoon showers turning into clearing skies. It's going to dry out here this evening. Temperatures are actually going back up. Sunshine will do that for you this time of year in particular as the sun is really strong. So we'll actually see the evening temperatures go up a little bit, but notice the wind direction here. North-northwest, west-northwest, north-northwest, Winds have shifted because a cool front has moved through the area, and it has pushed some showers off into the coastal waters. And with 1,000 lightning strikes, all of which are out here in the Atlantic Ocean, things are going to settle down very quickly for us here locally. And as we zoom on in, all we see, remember we just looked at the tower cam, this is all ground clutter here. No rain is expected here for this evening, as things will really get much better, and for a lot of you, very bright for at least the next few hours. Down south, we're also tracking some pretty good downpours out here near Marineland. They have already begun to fade away and move off into the coastal waters. There's Marineland down to the south. By the way, got a great time lapse of St. Augustine coming up here in about a half hour. You might want to take a peek at. I'll have that on air. All right, so again, the showers are way down south. Things are getting better for everyone. The forecast pretty straightforward. As again, just a slight chance of a sprinkle or shower with clearing skies. Sun going down at 8:05. A quiet night as temperatures will bounce around the low to mid 70s. You know, in another couple, 3 weeks, the downside of this kind of weather will be very buggy. The mosquitoes are just now beginning to grow. All right, so 11 o'clock tonight, the front's coming through us right now, the cooler air right behind it. The word chilly will start to settle in and through parts of Georgia. Now, when I say chilly, this is not winter. This is not anything close to what we've been dealing with. But what it will do is bring in the clouds, and our temperatures just won't go up much. And all the way through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening and 11 o'clock, the green will be on the map. Not constant, but pretty much there. In terms of rainfall amounts, another ½ inch to maybe as much as 2 inches of rain. The yellow mainly down to the south, indicating that 2-inch total, and that would be from Gainesville, Palatka out towards St. Augustine. Overnight tonight, low 60s to around the upper 60s. But daytime highs tomorrow, mid 60s to the upper 60s, maybe some low 70s. 60% plus chance of rain coming up for tomorrow. So the evening forecast goes like this: clearing skies, becoming cooler, 63, northwesterly winds. That'll bring in the cool air for tomorrow. And tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m., scattered clouds and showers, maybe a ray or two of sunshine, but it just turns into an off and on pattern of rain. Daytime temperatures just touching the low 70s. I'm calling it a mini nor'easter because we'll be running 14 degrees below normal in terms of our temperatures. That's pretty much will do it for you right there. Rainy conditions, but here's the good news. AM sunshine on AM showers on Saturday turns into afternoon sunshine on Saturday. Beautiful Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, pretty much Wednesday and Thursday as well. Tom and Mary.
Thank you, John. They lobbied the legislature and lost. Now they're focusing on the governor. AAA making a last-ditch attempt to prevent higher speed limits on highways like this one. What statistics they point to bolster their case? Next. Now Mary has a preview of what's all new at 6 o'clock.
Tom, here's some of what we're working on only on 4: kidnapping terror. This Clay County woman was abducted when she was just 13, and for the first time, she's telling Channel 4 about the day a man put a gun to her back.
He told me to get in his car, and I pretty much did what he said. I really couldn't tell you what was running through my mind, but I know I was scared.
Now she's ready to share intimate details of her nightmare and her powerful message. Plus,
so you've taken your concealed weapons course, you've learned how to shoot your gun safely, but what happens after you leave the store with your brand new gun? I'm Joy Purdy. From your home to your car to the guns that you carry on you, we are talking gun safety.
The governor has not said whether he will sign it or veto it. AAA is telling him, please do the latter. The Auto Club is hoping Governor Scott will keep the Department of Transportation from having the authority to increase speed limits on many Florida highways.
Senate Bill 392, now on Scott's desk, would allow legal speeds higher than 70 miles per hour. The House passed it by only a 2-vote margin. AAA says other states that raise their speed limits above 70 have seen an increase in speed-related traffic deaths. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, more than 10,000 deaths occurred in speed-related crashes in 2012.
If you actually do the time and look at like an average commute, if you allow somebody to travel maybe 5 miles per hour faster than they do, it gets them there about 1 minute and 8 seconds earlier than it otherwise would. So it really doesn't save a lot of time, and it's not worth it in terms of trading it off for more injuries and more deaths on our roadways.
A total of 16 states allow speeds greater than 70. If signed into law, Florida would join Maine as the only states east of the Mississippi River allowing legal speeds higher than 70 miles per hour. Well, stay with us. There's more to come.
The news continues with Rob and Joy right after the break.